Good day, my people, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strumblad. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo. My people, it was another beautiful day for a protest and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, or the white man's fame. And the back of my sign says, white man, why have you enslaved the African American? My people, it was another beautiful day for a protest and I enjoyed every moment of it. My people, I hear your words. You were fascinated by my breakdown of how James Mitchell and Ralph Gonsalves were trained by England to come back to destroy St. Vincent and the Grenadines and to enslave the children of slaves in order to meet the agenda of 2025. So he wanted me to go into it a little more. Now, this is what I was saying. It is a white agenda which was set since before 1945. That by 2025, they would re-enslave the children of slaves, us and our children. They were also pushing for the re-enslavement of the entire non-white world by 2025. So they can experience the glory days of slavery when every white nation off of the work and labor of the children of slaves were prosperous. So they think that if they can re-enslave the entire world, it will take them back to the glory days of the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th century, where they all experience wealth and prosperity. Right? So their objective is to re-enslave the entire world by 2025. My people, listen to this. After adult suffrage and black people were allowed to vote in 1954, I think it was, what happened? They had a changing of the guard. There are people like George McIntosh, Ebenezer Theodore Joshua, George McIntosh was a mixed man, a mulatto. Joshua was an Israelite, the children of slaves. And these men who start going in pursuit of political success in order to develop the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and to develop our country. George McIntosh and those guys did what they can. Joshua took it to another level. Milton Cato took it to a whole new level. Now, when the British government that was still in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in the Caribbean as a whole saw what was happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they became concerned because St. Vincent and the Grenadines, through our indigenous forefathers, the Kalinagos and the Garifuna, was instrumental in keeping the French, the British, the Spanish, and the Portuguese off of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We were the last country in the Western Hemisphere to experience slavery, and we experienced only 40 plus years of slavery. So when they see the movements of Joshua and later Cato, they became concerned that St. Vincent is going to be a force to be reckoned with their agenda for 2025. So they sought out James Mitchell. By this time, he was an agronomist working with the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And they offer James Mitchell, not a very bright man, a job to be a research and agricultural researcher in England. Mind you, England has schools that teach people all of these skills and techniques. There are many British residents who have gone and acquired these education and were out of a job because in this time, 1959-1961 period, England was in a recession, right? So why would you give James Mitchell a job when you have people who have attended your institution in England who are out of a job and the economy was hard? It is because James Mitchell being offered a job was a cover for James Mitchell to go to England to be taught by the racist elite in England how to come back and undo everything Joshua did. But what they didn't perceive is that one who was greater than Joshua was waiting in the wings to take up from where Joshua left off and take St. Vincent and Vincentian to an even higher heights. So when James Mitchell came back from England in 1966, his first order of business was to get into politics because he was already trained by the British government that he must come here, get into politics and undo everything that Joshua did. That is why when James Mitchell became Prime Minister in 1984, he quickly destroyed everything that Joshua did and everything that Milton Cater did. All of the industries that Milton Cater set up, from the Camden Park Industrial Estate that employed thousands of Vincentians, he destroyed. Now, in the mid-60s, the British government tapped Ralph Gonsalves to take over from James Mitchell. But in order to make the Duns Ralph Gonsalves qualification look legitimate, he had to get a counterpart that reflects the people who he is going to destroy. That counterpart was his slave, Kenneth John. Because you see, Ralph Gonsalves introduced people like Kenneth John and others into homosexuality when he was a student in the grammar school. He knew about homosexuality and the effects homosexuality have on others, where the Spirit of the Most High God left them and devils and demons possessed them. So he took Kenneth John to England with him. Kenneth John did not go through the training, but Kenneth John was awarded the same qualification as Ralph Gonsalves were awarded. A PhD in political science and a semi-law degree. Give them the authority to practice law in this jurisdiction. Right? So, this is what happened. So when Ralph Gonsalves came back to the Caribbean, he had a fraudulent PhD in political science. Kenneth John had the same thing. But Kenneth John was made to fend for himself. The British government ensured that Ralph Gonsalves had a job because their whole objective was to make Ralph Gonsalves credible. Because so long James Mitchell being in the wilderness, he couldn't get control of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines because he had no credibility. So in order to give Ralph Gonsalves credibility, they gave him a doctorate, gave him the authority to practice law within the jurisdiction of the Caribbean, and they gave him a job at the University of the West Indies. There is where he gets his credibility. But remember, he raped the university professor and had to be smuggled out of Barbados just as a woman by Bones Bonady, the trade unionist. Bones Bonady, who is now his slave and who is singing his praise on radio every day. My people, that is the whole story. Gonsalves like James Mitchell, who you love, was trained by the British government to ensure that you all end up in poverty, that ensure that you all become slaves, to ensure they meet their agenda for 2025. The most resistance they were expecting is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the most resistance they're getting now is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because I, Chief Strongblood, also known as Alan Palmer, is providing that resistance. My people, the only reason why there is police officer at the library, the Central Library, is because I go to the Central Library. I am not a slave, and they're afraid of me. I go out there and I protest every day, and they seize me and they're afraid of me. Why? Because the Most High said, He'll put the fear of me and the dread of me in the heart of all who hits me, of all of my enemies. I think that's why I love the Most High. The Most High knew I was coming, and He put the fear of me and the dread of me in their hearts even before I reach. Okay. I hope I went into enough details for those of you who are inquiring and searching. Chief Strongblood. I'll talk to you on Friday. Let me do this because I have to do it for my other video. My name is Chief Strongblood, also known as Alan Palmer, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo.